G'day, it's Kirby from Business Growth Co. And I'm here again to share another really basic but really powerful strategy with you that you can use right now in your business to help you get more clients and make more sales and ultimately get home with more profit in your pocket to those that love you and miss you and want your presence. Today I want to talk to you about what I call the world's easiest business plan. And not that I want to downplay the importance of having a quality business plan, but what I want to do is show you that it doesn't have to be as hard as you've been told. Certainly doesn't have to be a big, long, convoluted document. And it's something that when you do it well and when you do it properly, it can actually help you to stay on track really easily on a weekly basis. So let's get straight into it. I hope you enjoy this. If you do, of course, make sure that you share it. Leave me some comments on whatever platform it is that you're joining me. I would love to hear whether you're enjoying these videos that I'm producing for you here in the new studio. And first of all, let me tell you where most people go wrong. And I was guilty of this. I certainly have spoken to many business owners in my travels and when I've been speaking on stages and talking to people in rooms. It is so common that people just get so caught up with lengthy, boring documents that get drawn up once for the bank or for the finance, or you start your business and you're kind of educated on this whole thing of, well, I've got to have this 28-page document which breaks everything down into 1,000 different pieces, and it's gone about the marketing mix and my financial projection for the next 3 years and all this sort of stuff. And the reality is that depending on where you're at in your business journey, it's probably massive overkill for a business that's in startup or in the first couple of years, or even a business that's got less than 50 staff. You don't need a big, long, complex document. That's where I see most people get stopped right away. Before they've even got out the gate, they're getting so caught up in kind of red tape, I suppose you'd say. And so what I want to do was show you something that I came up with, which I call the predictable growth quadrant. You'll see why it's called that in a moment. But I came up with this because my background was in kind of professional roles. I managed a pretty serious sized business before I started my own business. And before that, I was responsible for sales teams, 14 salespeople at a time. And every plan that I had to do for a corporate was lengthy. But the reality was that it never filtered down from kind of the management level or the C-suite all the way down to the ground where it had impact. It just didn't happen, because by the time it got there, it just lost steam. And so you had all these people kind of running around doing their own thing, and it was really hard to keep everyone aligned. Now, when I started my own business, I got into the trap of staying in that corporate mindset, and I developed a plan which was just rubbish. And for the first little while, I just tread water because I didn't really have clarity on where I was going. I didn't really have anything to keep me accountable, more importantly. And self-accountability this is. I'm not talking about going to pay a coach or a trainer or anything like that. I'm talking about turning up on Monday morning in your home office or in your office, wherever you work, and saying, right, it's game time, what do I need to do? There was nothing like that. And so in January of this year, we commenced our mastermind, our business growth mastermind. And as part of that journey for those business owners that we mentor and train, I wanted to develop something simple for them to follow. And so that's where this was born. This predictable growth quadrant was born out of the back of saying to these guys, hey, I want you to have a tangible tool that you can use in your business to grow. Because ultimately, what do I want? I want my mastermind members to go away going, what? I just want them to grow. I don't want them to kind of sit there and stagnate. And I want the same for you, which is why I'm doing this video. So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper. Really simple. As you'll see on the screen, just divide the page up. Now, you can do this on a whiteboard, you can do this on an A3 page, you can do it on a notepad. I don't mind where you do it. The important thing is that when it's done, that you keep it with you and you stick them everywhere. So it'll make more sense in a moment. But essentially, this becomes your living, breathing, one-page business plan. And this should definitely strategically get you in the right direction, but also from a task perspective, as in on the ground, what do I need to do? Then this will certainly be much more powerful than any other system you've ever seen. I promise you that. And this has been responsible for some insane results in the last, 6-7 months for our mastermind members. I mean, I'm talking, extra millions and millions of dollars in revenue for their businesses. from this one piece of paper. So what I want you to do in this top box up here, I want you to write down what your 3-year vision is for your business. I'm not looking at 15 years down the track. I don't care for that because that's way too far away. I'm talking about in an ideal world, if you and I were sitting down having a coffee right now, and I was to say to you, hey, 3 years from now, what do you want your life to look like? Like, what do you want from this? Because why did you start the business in the first place? I know for me, I started my business because, you know, some of you might know that my firstborn son, he was 6 months old when I left my professional role. And the biggest thing I wanted was freedom of time. I wanted the flexibility to say, you know what, I'm going to go and have a milkshake with my kid, or to go to a sports carnival with my daughter. I wanted that flexibility. I also wanted the ability to make money for myself instead of making it for everybody else. And I wanted to be able to say, you know what, I've left something behind here, because if you know my story at all, you know that I lost my father when I was 19 years old. That's been profoundly impactful on my life and on how I turn up now for you, and how I turn up for my family, and how I turn up for myself for that matter. But I wanted to say, you know what, when I look my son in the eye for that last breath, when I'm holding his hand, the way that I held my dad's hand, I want to know that I did something with my life, that I didn't just sit there and rot away in a cubicle. And so that's why I started my business. And so if I reflect forward 3 years in my business, knowing what I know now, my 3-year vision's really, really clear. And it revolves around, first of all, I want to impact 1 million business owners around the world in the next 3 years. In 3 years from now, I want to know that because of the good work that I do every day, when I get out of bed, when I put my feet on that floor and take that drink of water, that I've made a difference to someone in that day. That you are watching these videos, or joining a program, or getting emails from me, or turning up to an event, and you're thinking, oh my God, where has Kirby been? This is the person I was looking for. That's what I want for 1 million people in the next 3 years. Because I know, like, this can be super complex if you want it to be. Business growth, you know, there's 1 million books written on it for a reason, because it's a deep, complex journey. And it's a self journey, and it's a business journey, and it's a journey of patience, and it's a journey of financial understanding. It's certainly a journey of relationships. If you're married, or if you've got a significant other, or if you've got children, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. And so I want you right now to write down 3 years from now, not taking into account what's going on today. I don't care about what's going on today, because we can change it. We can make the choice right now. You and I can make the choice in this moment to say, that's it. I'm going to go in this direction now, because I want that thing there 3 years from now. That's what I want you to write down in that box. And it can be personal, it can be health related, it can be financial. It's whatever it is for you. And that's why I love this predictable growth quadrant so much, is that it's not governed by somebody else's rules. It's a fluid, living document that reflects you. Now, when you've done that, then in the top right-hand box, I want you to write down 1 year from now. And I want you to ask yourself this question. For this 3-year vision to become real, to impact 1 million people, to reach a certain financial goal, to achieve a certain level of independence, or work a certain work week, what needs to be real in 12 months? What are the tangibles that need to be in place, the measures that need to be in place in 12 months from now, so that you know you're on track for that 3-year vision? You know you're on track for that kind of North Star. So this could be a certain number of staff that you might need to engage, a certain number of clients that you need to engage, a certain number of programs or services that you need to start or stop. It might be that your business achieves a certain revenue goal. It might be all of those, to be honest. So for me, I know that for me to impact 1 million people out there, I've got to start somewhere, and I've got to start with 100,000 people. So in the next 12 months for me, by doing this sort of thing and through the events and programs that we offer, in 12 months from now, I want to be able to sit back and have a cup of tea and say, I did pretty good. I impacted 100,000 individuals, and I helped 100,000 people to make more profit, have more fun in their business, take the complex and make it simple, get home in time to sit down and play Lego with their kids, to kick a ball in the park, to go and take their daughter out shopping, to go and get their nails done with their daughter, whatever it might be. By the way, I don't get my nails done. I'm referring to my wife going out with our daughter to get their nails done. Nothing wrong with getting your nails done though, by the way, if you're watching this and you like getting your nails done. Where am I going with that? So I want you to get really clear on the measure in 1 year and be real about it. You know, and don't do the thing where you kind of just take the 3-year vision and split it up into 3, because that doesn't work. You know that in business, it's a compound effect. The work you do today will impact something you do tomorrow, which will impact something that you do the next day. So it all snowballs into this giant growth machine. Now, when you've done that, and this is where I love this plan, because it takes the concept of a vision and it just breaks it right down. I want you to write down 90 days from now, in the next 90 days, 3 months from today, 3 months from the time you pause this video and start writing your notes, what projects, what objectives do you need to achieve? What things need to happen? And I'm not talking here about a to-do list. Don't confuse this with activity. This is 90-day objectives. So this is, you know what? For me to reach 100,000 people in 12 months, which then keeps me on track for 1 million people, in the next 90 days, it's going to be really important for me to systemize some things in my business. So I need to, myself and my team, need to write out our operational procedures, because I can't be everywhere. I can't be on a stage in Hawaii at a conference and also here in Brisbane, Australia, talking to other people. So there needs to be a repeatable system that I can put in place so that whilst I'm away educating, other people can be answering the phones a certain way, responding to our clients in the way that I anticipate and expect, giving people great service, leaving people better than we found them. So that's one of the objectives for us in the next 90 days. Another objective for me personally, I know if I look at the best in the world right now, and I make all of my decisions from being world class, if I look at the best in the world today, their big focus is their energy. To turn up and even do this, the amount of energy that gets put into a video or an event or standing on stage and delivering a keynote is just immense. And so for me to repeat that again and again and again, instead of doing it once a week, doing it 3 or 4 times a week, repeatedly, and traveling and getting on planes across the ocean, that takes a lot of energy. And so I know for me in the next 90 days, I've got to lose a bit of this dad bod. Like I'm carrying a couple extra kegs right now because, you know, I took Ramika's pregnancies and I made them my own by way of tea and biscuits and all sweet treats, which is not great, but you know what? It is what it is. So now I have to take responsibility and say, you know what? If it's important for me to go and achieve the goal of getting more business owners home in time for dinner with their kids, I've got to look after me first, because I can't turn up and help you if I can't even help myself. So my 90-day plan, my health is on there. Now, what's on your 90-day plan? And if you need to pause this video at any stage, pause it. Take the time and reflect on this. Don't rush it. Now, bringing it back down to the ground, and this is where I really, really love this for our mastermind members, and I really hope that you get the same effect and achievement from this plan. This final box, where the tire meets the road. What do you need to do in the next 7 days? What is your to-do list in the next 7 days to get to those 90-day objectives? And this is where it's powerful, because you don't need me or anyone else to come and look over your shoulder next Monday and say, hey, did you get that done? Because you now have self-accountability. You write it on that list, and whatever that big goal is for you, whatever that big vision is, whatever that impact is that you want to have, you can now make that impact by focusing on the next 7 days of your life and how you show up in the next 7 days. Like, you can show up in the next 7 days. I'm not asking you to show up for 12 months. I'm saying to you right now, you know what? Now is the time to commit. Now is the time for you to commit and say, you know what? For the next 7 days, I can do this. Whatever level you're at right now, whatever has happened to you before, whatever mistakes you've made, whatever failings you've had, whoever's told you you're not good enough, disregard it and say, the next 7 days is mine. I'm going to own the next 7 days. And I'm going to do it by completing these activities. So let me show you how this comes to ground. Taking my goals into account, my 90-day goal is to drop 10 kilos. I'm happy to say that I'm already a couple of kilos down, so I've got about 8 left in the next, we're about 2.5 weeks into our 90-day plan right now, a bit more, 3 weeks. So I know that I've got to go to the gym a couple of times a week in order to make sure I'm in momentum, I'm moving, I'm doing the work. And I also need to make sure that I eliminate fatty food from my diet wherever I possibly can. And I've got to make better food choices. Now, do you think it's much easier for me now, being clear on what that 3-year impact is, to today walk past a fast food joint and say, you know what? I'm going to give that a miss today because I know if I can do that for the next 7 days, that 3-year vision is just so much closer for me. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to break it down like that. Another one of our 90-day goals being the systems and processes. Sharon, our office manager, some of you may have had the chance to speak to her, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. She is right now working diligently on our systems and processes because I know that I need to have a process and procedure manual fully built out so that when I'm away, things get done. It doesn't have to wait for me to be here. I'm removing myself as a part of this business. I'm making this a saleable asset by making it not about me anymore. So what is it for you? What's on your 7-day tasks? It could be as simple as going for a walk. Is it that you need to take some time out for you? It doesn't always have to be about the business. Because remember, if you're not good, if you're not in good condition, the business is futile anyway. It's not going to go anywhere if you can't drive it. The business is the vehicle. Okay? So, what more can I say to you right now other than go and do this? This exercise will absolutely change your business. It changed mine. It's changed plenty of our clients. I mean, we've been very fortunate to work with hundreds of business owners now around Australia, the US, New Zealand. And so this is working. This works in any market, for any product or any service, in any business of any size, because you can do it, your teams can do it, your office manager can do it, your personal assistant can do it. And even if you're just working on your own right now, you can do it. You can sit down right now and do this. So go do it. Now, as always, if you've liked this, I'd really appreciate it if you can hit the share button, because I know there's other business owners out there who could really, really do with this advice. And sadly, too many people are paying for bad advice. And that's why I'm here with these videos, to give you this advice so you can go and do it and implement it and take that complexity and break it down into simplicity and get more done in your business today. I hope that you have more fun in your business this week. And I certainly hope you leave everyone better than you found them. Till I see you next time, take care of yourself.